Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm your host, Ellie. And boy, this is a weather and lifestyle news show. We're on Thursday. We're already at Thursday. Happy Thursday. Everybody recouping from 4th of July. I, I feel like I am. The heat this week is just really horrendous here, and I can feel it. And, I got to go out in a little bit. Um, I did a lot of it the last few days, and I could just feel it. Boy, I just can't cool off. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the cool, they say. Uh, so I want to mention on this show that Biden is looking at chemtrails again to cool off the planet. But didn't they just? And it's going to obscure the sun. Now, isn't that defeating the purpose of them forcing us to get solar panels? Huh. All right. That's all I'm going to say on it. Karen, what do you think? You want to marry a crocodile? You got to keep him in a cage and hope he don't bite you. What kind of person does that? Maybe the guy that carried him on his shoulder. I don't know. But that's what I labeled the show as Marry a Crocodile. Yeah, I think they're more fierce than an alligator, but they're showing up in Florida. But uh, there's ritual and a religious thing that you can marry a crocodile. Okay, what do you think, Karen? Boy, Karen, what is it with the crime rate in Philly this weekend? I mean, I just through the roof. I know I do crime on this show on Mondays. So um, Philly is just like crazy in trouble right now, from the politicians all the way down to crime rate being horrible and the zombie drug. What do we got to look at fixing Philly. I stay away. I would. I got to. There you go, right there. I stay far away from Philly. Susan, what about you? Do you ever go to Philadelphia for anything? Uh, what is it? Um, did the Liberty Bell, ring so loud that it just, I don't know. It just, the crime rate's horrible there. All right. I'm going to go to our weather with Miss Davis. Uh, William had her pegged yesterday. Where is he? I think he's sleeping today. I think Williams is like, oh, I did two shows back to back. I'm tired. Yeah. William really does help me out. And, I do disappear for a show, but I usually have things I have to do. So I'm like on the other side of the screen and I put up stuff for his show. All right. So Miss Davis with the weather. Oh my goodness. Oops. Well, we didn't want to do that. All right, here we go.
A series of cold fronts is going to keep the threat of severe weather in the forecast really through the rest of the week. Today, the biggest threat is going to be back through the central high plains and down into the southern plains. This is where we're looking at the threat of very large hail and strong winds. Now, here's a look at the threat as we go through the day and the timing of these storms. So they'll start to fire up through the afternoon, but even during the overnight, here's where we could be looking at some supercells even developing later today. And through the overnight, notice how Oklahoma City, you could be looking at some strong storms coming your way. So definitely a night you want to stay weather aware. There's a look at the threat on Friday. And once again, on Saturday, we'll continue to see that threat of severe weather. Not only are we looking at the threat of wind and hail, but also rain. Take a look at the rainfall that we could see over the next several days, especially back through the southern plains, where we could easily see upwards of 3 to 5 inches.
Well, there's a pretty thought right there. What gets me is they keep showing all this rain in Arkansas, but we're not getting it. It dries up. Arkansas, the storm killer, is what I say. Everything that has been coming our way is drying up. We're not getting the rain. We need the rain. Everybody send the rain to Arkansas so that we can have a really nice winter. I want snow this winter. We haven't had some in a long time. Not like the 2 foot, 1 to 2 foot. Uh, no, I don't even want that much. A foot. No, half a foot. About a half a foot. Warm snow where I could stay in, look out the window, see the storm, and see the snow. And the next day, it's all gone. It's all gone. It's just mud. And then we're with mud again. All right. Okay. Earthquakes. And we had the newest one in Papua New Guinea. Um, I'm not very surprised. Now, we had one over on the East Coast, but it was only in Virginia, not over in Pennsylvania. It was Virginia this time. So Karen and Susan got lucky. There's still a lot of tremors over there: North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Lots of them. Uh, Karen, that'll throw you for a loop. I don't know if people realize that. It's unnerving because your body's feeling it and your head's feeling it, but you don't know why. And it really does create a little bit of havoc in the brain. Yeah. No wonder Philly's all messed up. All right. Let's get to the earthquakes. And Dutch Sense has been talking about the rumbling on the West Coast. Well, it's not really rumbling today. Um, I'm looking at Nevada with a 3.0, and then the other one was all the way over in New Mexico. So it's really quiet. But now yesterday we seen Iceland and the Mid Atlantic Ridge. So that's what we're seeing again. But it was only a 4. Then we're looking at Portugal, is where it hit, 4.3. Then we're looking at Mariatis, um, a 5.2. Karen, have you ever heard of this one? This is a new thing. This is a new, um, we hear about earthquakes in diverse places. These are places I've never even heard of. Even the ones like Sums Bar yesterday in California. I lived there all my life, never heard of it. It could have been a new one they added, a new city, but I've never heard of Sums Bar. All right. So then we had one up in Pakistan. That was a 4.0. It was Afghanistan to Tajikistan, Pakistan region. So it was on the border of all three. We had one New Zealand out of the blue. South Island, 4.3, but they're not going to tell us where it was and really where it was. Indonesia, 5.3. Then as it goes north around the Ring of Fire, it's 4.8. Now we have one up in Alaska, Unalaska, and then 2.6 in National Park, Denali. And then look at the cluster we have down South America. We had, there it goes. Chile, 5.8. I seen 5.9 this morning. So that's almost a 6.0. So where does it go? Well, it can. We seen one over in Mauritius. That was a 5.2. And then we just recently had this one, a 5.5 in Papua New Guinea. Well, is it going to go up? Is it going to go along the West Coast? Now, Dutch Sense seems to think so. So if you're new, Dutch Sense is on YouTube. He's on Twitch and Rumble, I believe now, Karen. So go watch him, and he'll explain these earthquakes way better than I can. I just show you every day, and I got an email. Why do you do earthquakes? Since you don't know so much about them. Well, I want to show you guys that there are earthquakes. There are volcanoes that the news won't tell us about. When's the last time you heard the news talk about all of the volcanoes that are spewing ash, steam, or lava, or the earthquakes, the tremendous amount of earthquakes we have? They just don't, unless it's a big one. Then they want to jump on it. That's why I do earthquakes, is to show you there's earthquakes every single day, and they're big, and you should feel them. And volcanoes. All right. And plus, Karen likes the earthquakes. All right, Colorado's uh, treated to a glowing green sky, and everybody thought it was the aurora boreas, of the lights, and they were like oohing and ahhing, and how pretty is it? But it's all green. Why didn't it change colors? Well, they found out it wasn't really the northern lights as much as it's something that happens
So when
in
you see this image,
Colorado.
you probably think that's an aurora, like the northern lights, right? Well, it's not. It's actually something called air glow. Air glow happens all around the world, and it can happen any time of the day. But when we see it at night, it's called night glow. It's caused by an interaction between certain chemicals found in the atmosphere, mainly oxygen and nitrogen. During the day, energy from the sun breaks these molecules apart, and at night, the chemicals recombine in the atmosphere, and that generates the glow. The northern lights, which most people are more familiar with, those come from the sun's interaction with the Earth's magnetic field, a different phenomenon completely. So if you're wondering how you can see night glow yourself, it's usually not visible to the naked eye. Night glow is about 1/10 as bright as all the stars combined. But with special nighttime cameras away from city lights, it is possible to capture the display practically any night. So if you've ever been to the Grand.
All right, so wow, the green lights, the green lights. So if you're in Colorado or one of the states around it, you see the green glow. It is not the northern lights. It is another phenomenon that we don't see very often. Everybody's wondering, is this due to climate change? No, no, it's not. Um, it is because we keep sending things through um, our atmosphere that are destroying our ozone layer. So we don't do it; they help us do it. A bomb threat. Can you believe this? A bomb threat on a airplane. This was to passengers to Spokane International Airport. One's in custody. Wow. How there was a security incident this afternoon, they said, involving Alaska Airlines flight 334 from Atlanta to Seattle. A male guest made a direct threat to the safety of the aircraft to one of the flight attendants. Now, Alaska Airlines said this in a statement that it was consistent with security procedures. So they went ahead and they removed him from the plane. But um, at least he told everybody. At least he said something. This would have been 177 passengers that would have died if he would have just kept his mouth shut and actually blown up the plane. But you could tell that um, a lot of these bombers, it shows that some of them do have a conscience. They do feel for something, because this guy wouldn't have said anything. If he was cold hearted, he would have jumped on that plane and said, "Okay, let's just do this." No, he had a change of heart. Um, wow, Atlanta to Seattle. So if you had loved ones on that, thank goodness they're all okay. Bobcat that attacked a sleeping camper in Connecticut test positive for rabies. Yeah, so it's not just raccoons now. Now in Connecticut, they said now you got to be really careful going out, because if the bobcats got it, we know skunks and raccoons. It could be possums and other animals, small animals in the species. So be careful. Bobcats, there's a couple other cats too, even the mountain lions. We have to be concerned now with who's carrying the rabies. Boy, increase in rabies. Um, 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 oh yeah. Let's marry an alligator. I know you guys are waiting for this. All right, here we go.
Como lo hemos explicado, es la unión de dos culturas entre los muables y los gonzález. Esto a raíz de un pleito entre estas dos culturas.
I have no clue what he's saying, but I think he's saying he loves a crocodile. Karen, I don't know. Susan, William, people watching out there, you got to put a comment on this one. I don't even know if I want to know what he says. I don't know if I want to know the translation. He kissed that crocodile on the head and was dressed in white. Wedding night ventures, let's not go there. I think we need to move on. Okay, Belvita breakfast sandwiches are recalled. Possible peanut contamination. Um, Let me show you the product. Belvita sandwiches. They have been 3 confirmed reports of possible allergic reaction to the date related to these products. It warned that people who have a severe sensitive or allergy to peanuts may risk serious and life-threatening allergic reactions to consuming these products. Now, I've seen a lot of peanut butter recalls for that same reason. If you're allergic to peanut butter, don't eat it. What are you eating it for? Go eat one peanut and be done with it. Don't go digging in the jar of peanut butter with a spoon. Karen, do you ever do that? Just grab that peanut butter jar and with the spoon. Yeah, my mom used to get mad because we'd leave the spoon in the jar, and she'd say, "Somebody's eating more than their fair share." Yeah, don't eat peanut butter if you're allergic to it. You know you're allergic to it, and even those with diabetes that see the sugar content, don't eat it. Just go eat a peanut or get a little spoonful and get your fill. Don't go buy this stuff. But this was recalled because of peanut allergies. It didn't list on the box the how much was actually in it, and these were peanuts that could cause issues if you're allergic to peanuts. Come on, peanut eaters, don't ruin it for the rest of us. Now here we go with contaminated beach water. Now, I always was concerned about this when we used to go to the lake. It wasn't that big. And it would get to smelling weird. Water wasn't right. Well, they say that swimmers are going to be sick because people pee and poo in the water. Little kids do it a lot, and it contaminates the beach and the water so many feet out. It's a health hazard. Roughly half the United States beaches were found to contain potential unsafe levels of fecal contamination in 2023. Half, 50% of the beaches. Think about that. Where do you go? And they don't tell you really where to go for the data. And it's Boston-based research. And when you click on their link, it's an error. Nothing. but I could believe it because this is something I used to notice. Because my mom used to take us out there to a place called Granite Bay, and by the end of the summer, even in the mornings, that water was warm so many feet out. 50% of our beaches are polluted with fecal matter. Now, think on that when you start to take your kids out there. Do it early morning, uh, do it on way after a holiday, and don't, um, watch what your kids are doing. Watch what your kids are doing. If they're playing in that low part of the beach, knee deep, don't let them stay in it too long. This is icky. Of 3,100 beaches tested, 55 contained unsafe levels of fecal contamination, at least one a day. And 363 of them, one out of every 9 beaches tested, had potential unsafe levels of fecal contamination. Well, okay, let's just move on. I want something happier. Wait a This isn't too happy either because psycho psychoactive drugs from China labeled as beauty products were seized in the Virginia airport. They're listing them under other items, like this one was labeled as beauty products. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agents and officers working at Duels, I hope I pronounced this right, International Airport in Northern Virginia, seized about 70 pounds of these psychoactive drugs. Psychoactive. That sounds like LSD. I don't know. It's, I mean, if it's psychoactive, you're tripping. You're seeing things that aren't there. That sounds like a form of LSD or an acid they used to have in the 70s. They're sold in the streets as a tablet or powder. Wow. Now, on this day, what happened on this day? It's a movie this time. On This Day movie in 1994. Very popular #1 hit. I think it's still a #1 hit with Tom Hanks. It was released in theaters. It was a one-of-a-kind movie called Forrest Gump. So today, July 6, 1994, Forrest Gump, a very memorable movie that will probably go into those that are the best of. I know I like watching those on the weekend. YouTube, Tubi, one of them. There's a bunch of other ones out there. Netflix, Hulu. I look for the classics, and I think that Forrest Gump will become a classic. Quite a few of them, but Forrest Gump needs to be part of it. All right, bright blue buttons washing up, and these look like buttons. Look at this now. Bright blue buttons. The blue button, a jellyfish, isn't even a jellyfish. It's a colony of creature called hydrozoans that work together as a team with each other carrying out a specific duty. Now, these look very beautiful, and everybody might want to touch them, but you really want to stay away from it. Another commenter summed up their thoughts on the blue button very simply, calling it beautiful and wicked. So if you see those beautiful buttons, don't touch them on the beaches. Now we have highly venomous black mambas fighting in someone's backyard. Now, the whole thing was Everybody was amazed that these two snakes would be fighting. My thing was there was two of them. Now these black mamas are one of the most venomous species of snakes. These snakes have notorious a reputation of being Africa's deadliest snake. Wow. All right, let me show you. Um, I think they've got this photoshopped and fixed, so it looks beautiful. But there it is. Um, Journey. Wow. Um, what's your favorite Journey song? The founder, guitarist, um, he died today at the age of 76. Journey. Um, more and more, but the Stones are still alive. That just amazes me. I'm waiting to hear the Stones, but I'm not to be mean, but now we have Journey. Journey now has lost a member of the band. What was your favorite Journey song? Um, Mine was Sentimental Lady. Now, I know it was done by Stevie Nicks before, but you know, when they did it, they did a very tasteful job on it. Uh, it was a beautiful song. A friend of mine, oh boy, now here you go. Isn't Journey the one with the na 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 on and on and on? Isn't Journey the one that does that? Yeah, they were bad for that. But a friend of mine loved Sentimental Journey, and she played it on the record player over and over and over. She had a little 45 of it. And so I got her the album. I bought her the album with it on there. And she got stuck on the na 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 and the Sentimental Lady and one other song. I can't remember what it was. Faithfully, Faithfully, uh, a song with Steve Perry. Open Arms. Yeah, Open Arms. I think that might have been the one that she played, Susan. Open Arms. Put down in the comments as we see the 70s, because the 70s, they were all in their 20s and 30s. I was in my teens, so they were 20, 30 years old already. So I'm old. I tell everybody I'm old, and so you look at my age, and then you're like, wow, they're in their 70s and 80s. The Stones, I don't know. They got to be doing something right. Maybe they got the right vitamins. Okay, so we have, um, you know, sometimes we're just single, whether you're a bachelor or just a single woman or you lost a spouse. We tend to live this way with bachelor food, they call it. Bread, sesame seeds, and poppy seeds are the only official acceptable spots. They should be on the surface of the bread, they say. Fuzzy and hairy looking white and green brown growth are good indications that your bread has turned into pharmaceutical laboratory experiment. Don't eat it. Canned goods. Any canned goods that have become the size and shape of a softball should be disposed of carefully, or if they look like they're ready to blow up. Carrots. A carrot that you can um, be a clove hitch. It's if it's not fresh. Cereal is generally the rule of thumb. The cereal should discard when it's 2 years old or longer. I feel weird when mine's a month old and the grandkids want to eat it. I'm like, I don't know. You might try the newer cereal. No, don't eat the Captain Crunch. It's been there for 2 months. All right. Chip dip. If you can take it out of its container and bounce it on the floor, it has gone bad. Eggs. When something starts pecking its way out of the shell, the egg is probably past its prime. Or if you crack it and it smells your whole kitchen up, yeah, then you know it's not a good thing. Don't open the rest to see if they all smell. Mayonnaise. If it makes you violently ill after you eat it, the mayonnaise is probably spoiled. Raisins should not be harder than your teeth. Salt, it never spoils. Unmarked items. Um, oh boy, I went kind of far today. All right. Um, Unmarked items. You know that it's well beyond prime when you're tempted to discard the Tupperware along with the food. Generally speaking, containers should not burp when you open them. Did you know that? Now, I mean, when you first close them up and you burp them, but after that, they should not burp. And if you've got green fuzzy things on the top of your food in the Tupperware things, it's probably bad. If your fridge smells like something's really died in it, find out what it is because something's probably went really bad, it says. All right, folks, that's it for today. And tomorrow we got trivia, but we also have the weather and lifestyle news show. Um, be sure to share, subscribe, and hit that like button, thumbs up. Truth and News here at Investigator News. And we thank you all very much for watching and supporting us. Share us. Um, Bring more people in to watch lifestyle news if they don't want to watch the hardcore news. All right, folks. See you tomorrow, and um, have a wonderful Thursday, and God bless.